Hey, what's going on, guys? It's just Cool here, and today we are looking at another Halo 5 Forge map. This Halo 5 Forge map is called Cleansing Blade. Is inspired by the Truth and Reconciliation. This is not a Reconciliation remake, and I say that because if it was, every single hallway would be the exact way as it was in Comedy Evolved, which I've done that on another map that I have, a Truth and Reconciliation. If you haven't seen that, and I'll link that near the end of the video, and I will have the links from Waypoint on in the description down below. Anyways, I want to show you guys each room at a time. I want to show you guys everything that I've done to try to recreate that old style Covenant ship fill. These rooms here, these little corner pieces, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I'm gonna use, and I spent a lot of time looking at videos and layouts and stuff to figure out what I needed to do to make the room feel like it was from Comedy Evolved. So one of the things that I did was I used some cylinders to make these corner bits, and then over there as well. And that one is standing up in classic Comedy Evolved, so I tried to replicate that down pat. A lot of these wall pieces that I'm using in Comedy Evolved, there's actually some areas in later when you revisit the Truth and Reconciliation where some of the pieces are flown off the wall, and behind it is a bunch of tech, a bunch of wires, and a bunch of other stuff behind it, and these are basically panels, is what these ring pieces are here. And that's why I have them like this, and that's why they're the only thing in this hallway that is kind of purple. But down this little dark two-way hallway is two locked doors. In Comedy Evolved, a lot of areas that you went into that was dark had a bunch of locked doors, and a lot of them it was just to kind of give you that signature thing, like you can't go this way. This isn't the way to go. Find the light up hallway, and you're like, oh, all right. So you go find that, and you can continue on. I also want to show you the door real quick, what I did for it. I used some heavy railings to try to make the door as best as I could. I used a decal, I think a phantom decal, flipped it upside down and tried to replicate that design that was on the door. And I think that the door looks pretty good, if I'm going to be honest. I like how it turned out. Looks nice. It doesn't look too crazy or whatever else. It looks classic, and I like it. But moving down this way, we're going to go to the bridge. Now, this room alone, I've probably spent 3, 4, maybe 5 hours on. Different multiple times trying to figure out this room. The first version of this room, all that was actually moved up, probably a good 20 or 30 feet in-game. And I had to bring it back a little bit because in Comedy Evolved, these pillars were actually in view through the door, and they weren't all the way up here. So I had to fix a lot of stuff, and if you watched my first update of this map, you can tell that this room has been moved back and some things have been changed. One of the biggest things that I wanted to try to do was try to make sure it felt like the bridge from Comedy Evolved, because again, it's inspired, and it's best to kind of, if you're taking inspiration from something, it's better to try to replicate that as best as possible, which I think I did a pretty good job with. All the support beams, whatever this thing is hanging from the ceiling, this little ring piece, and the monitors here that show all the hallways. And the monitors over there, right here on this platform, each of one of them actually has a significant role in what they are and what it's for. The centerpiece right here at the bottom is actually kind of like the starter up control panel. The ones on the left is kind of like a communications thing with kind of like the wavelengths down there for audio, and those right there to show your the signal for communications. And then I guess up here kind of like life supports and air, like some door, I guess, to lock doors. And over here this is a don't know what that is, but each one of them is, but I've replicated them on all sides, so that way they kind of have the feel of what Comedy Evolved had with a lot of their monitors in the room. And I try to keep the theme being purple, but having some different colors of purple in here as well, so that way it's just not one solid color, and I had a few gray pieces to try to fit it in there as well. Fun lore fact, the reason why a lot of Covenant stuff is purple is because of I think it was the metal or paint that they use, or no, it's the metal that they use that gives off this purple shine, and that's why a lot of their stuff is purple in the lore, is because of the type of metal they use. But going down this way, we're going to have another one of these corner pieces that I made. I tried really hard to try to get these down pat. Again, I like them. Going down here is the final room. Now, originally there was going to be 3 rooms to the map. You were going to spawn in one big room, but then you were going to have another room that you could also spawn. These 2 rooms that you could go into. Now this room, it took me a lot of time trying to figure out what to do with. The cell block is one of those things that it looks awesome, but at the same time, it's hard to build. There was a lot of stuff going on in it in Comet Evolved. There was these glow up things up on top of near the ceiling above the cells, and I thought I'm gonna try to replicate those, but not exactly, but have my own. Just make a simple design and do that, so that way it doesn't look like a blank canvas. And I'd used some energy barriers to, make the doors here. And I spent a lot of time just trying to make sure that all of this looked right. And also whatever these things are in Comet Evolved. In Comet Evolved, there was something sticking on the wall. I didn't know what they were. Tried to replicate that as best as I could. Had to have 2 different colors of purple. And then I have like some lights, have some emissive effects coming out, so that way it looks pretty nice and it has its own little look to it. Have the support beams there, and at the ceiling I used some stair pieces for for a decoration, and then I used a large, I think a bridge, infantry bridge, and some rings over there to make the slant as best as I could right there. But but to show you guys also the other thing with this room. Now after I press this button, I want to say one thing about the cells. The reason why those 2 cells are the only ones that opened when I was testing the scripting up for this, for some reason the shield, because in Comet Evolved all of them go down at the same time. Well, kind of like one goes down, the other one goes down, and the other one goes. But my problem with that is they were actually in Forge they were perfectly straight, but then in custom games they'd angle themselves at a 5-degree angle and they'd clip through the wall, and it was kind of weird, and I hated that. And it kind of sucked because it's like, that's not a good remake, but I guess I'll deal with it. But then here we have one of the cells. I tried my best to figure out what I wanted to do. In Comet Evolved Classic and Anniversary, they kind of looked purple, and they had a like pinkish tint to it. So I thought I'm gonna go with a gray and purple, and I think it looks nice. They got the shiny seats. There's 3 here, and then you got some extended mag assault rifles to kind of replicate the Comet Evolved thing. Too bad it's not a 60 mag. It's too bad there's not 60 bullets in the mag. That would be very accurate. But I tried to make look as Comet Evolved as possible, and tried to make sure that this ship again felt like, oh, you were in, you were in the Truth and Reconciliation. And again, as I said, only 2 of them open, sadly, because the game decided to say, nope, you can't do that. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the map. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I spent a lot of time on this. It's been 3 weeks, I think, or more since I started working on this. I've had a lot of trouble at work trying to get stuff done and whatever else, and I've been working real hard to get this map done and finished for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Please share the video and help the channel out. Thank you guys for taking a look at this, and I hope you guys play on it, kind of roam around, and I hope to see some cool screenshots, because I remember saying that in the first update video, because I know that some people like to take screenshots and make some cool stuff with some dead Covenant bodies and whatever else, and if people want to do it on this map, I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyways, again, I'll see y'all in the next one, and soon the Forge contest that I have will end. If you haven't entered in that or whatever else, it's kind of almost too late. The last few videos to talk about it, but anyways, hope you guys are ready for that Forge contest, because it's almost October 3rd, and that's when the winner will be announced. But anyways, see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.